The City NightClub at 13 Northwest 13th Avenue in Portland is an all-ages, non-alcohol dance club. The hours are Wednesday through Sunday from roughly 10 p.m. until 2 a.m., with after hours on weekends until 4. There are 2 dance floors at the club, the main floor playing high-energy dance music, and the other side playing alternative and industrial music. There is also a pool room where young people play and periodically pool tournaments are held. Although all ages and sexual orientations are welcome at the City NightClub, the clientele is mainly young people ranging in age from about 15 to 24. And most, but not all of them, are gay, lesbian, or bisexual. For them, the club is much more than a place to dance and party the night away. For most of the young people who come here, it is the only place in their lives where they feel comfortable being themselves. Here, they can feel free to express their sexuality without fear of the traditional ridicule and humiliation offered them by mainstream society. There is a sign posted at the front desk that states, among other things, that no overt heterosexual behavior is tolerated, and the policy is enforced.
It's a place for me to come to socialize with my friends, people who I can relate to, gay, straight, whoever, who treat me fair. It's a place to express myself, physically, verbally, however, wherever I want to, and it's a good place to release all my extra energy.
The community of it, the family network, basically, because everybody around here is family to each other. If one person gets in trouble, then everybody helps them out to stop getting them in trouble, and things like that.
I don't know, me being gay, where else is a young person to go to have fun? You can't go to straight nightclubs because you get made fun of and beat up. So, it's just basically a safe place to have fun.
It's been a good meeting place. I started to come here regularly, once a week, at least over the summer. And I met some really good friends that I'm still friends with now, that have helped me through a lot. Yes, it has definitely, because if I wouldn't have started to come here, I probably wouldn't have started to come out to my friends or my family, which is an important thing to me.
I feel like I can be myself. I meet a lot of different people, and I just like it. It's a lot of fun.
It kind of helped me come out of the closet. So, I came here and I felt comfortable with it and everything, and then I kind of felt comfortable with being gay and everything. So, then I just went home and basically told my mom, and that was pretty cool.
It helped me a lot because I ended up meeting and knowing that I wasn't alone, and I wasn't, because my parents kicked me out when they found out that I was gay, and so it helped me a lot to know that I had friends and people who understood me and felt the same way.
There's just so many more people here like me. I feel like I'm not the oddball.
Yeah, I'm around more people who are like me. That's how I came out of the closet. I told my mom, I have to go to the club because there's more people like me. There's no one in Albany. There's maybe 3 people. It's hard.
Yeah. And you're looking at 2 of them.
You meet a lot of people, friends. It's all about friends.
I don't know, I have lots of friends that come here, and this is we don't touch base very often, but we normally touch base here. Because they're here, we're here, so we eventually run into them and talk to them.
We don't have, our families, I think, for most gay people is set up different, because our families, even if they want to accept us, have a hard time knowing how to deal with us. And so it's we construct our own families outside. And the city gives us a chance to do it before we're 25 or old enough to go to a bar and start meeting people. It's a center to meet other gay people our age, and I have a family of 10 that I've kind of grown up with since I've been coming to the city.
When I first started coming here, I was really scared and everything because I wasn't all the way out with myself and everything like that. But after I met my first girlfriend and everything, and the whole atmosphere of the City NightClub, I just felt more comfortable. I felt like I could be myself and dance with whoever I wanted to.
It provided me a place to be me. You know me, I've been in the Navy, and that was the big turnaround point for my life, where I just kind of said, I have to be who I am, and the city always provided me a place to go. When mom and dad, were going through stress, I came to the city. When, I needed a place to go to maintain a social life, to express myself, to be me, to finally escape, the boundaries of what I was going through in my life, I came to the city. The fact that everybody here knows that they're here for the same reasons. We're all here because we enjoy it. We're all here because we're not into the hate scene. We're into the acceptance. We're tired of being oppressed for whatever reason. It doesn't matter if you're gay or straight. We're all tired of being picked on. We're tired of being looked at and ridiculed, and we know that if we come here, we're surrounded by family, we're surrounded by friends.
Lanny Swerdlow is the owner of the City NightClub. He started his first all-ages club in 1977. That club eventually became the City NightClub in 1983. He saw a need for a place for youth to congregate other than on the street.
Back in 1977, there was a major problem in downtown Portland. Every Friday and Saturday night, 100 more young people would congregate at the corner of 3rd and Yamhill. This area was affectionately called Camp, and the young people were congregating there because they were gay and lesbian, had no place else to go. The response to the city to this problem was to turn the police loose on them and bust the kids for loitering or curfew or some other trumped-up charge. Consequently, innocent young people wound up with criminal records. No one seemed to care about them. No one wanted to do anything about it. The straight community certainly didn't, and unfortunately, the gay and lesbian community didn't want us to help them either. So I realized at that time, if anything was going to be done, I guess it was up to me. I realized that they needed a place to go. And so I opened up my first club in the Pythian building, we called it Mildred's Palace, to give them a place to go. And the club was an overnight success. Hundreds of young people came out to it on the very first weekend. And the problems at the corner of 3rd and Yamhill disappeared overnight. Today, of course, they don't even hang out there.
A small percentage of the young people who frequent the City NightClub live on the streets, having left home for a variety of reasons, including physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. Some of them have turned to prostitution to support themselves. They come to the club to get away from the scene rather than to bring it with them. The City NightClub is one of the few places where they can feel welcome and safe. In fact, every young person we talked to said they feel safe at the club.
I feel safe. Plus we have our little, people that help us outside to see if anybody's bringing anything violent in. I can check it in, that's good. Nothing happens.
I feel very safe at the club. Whenever there's a problem, it's always handled right away, so.
A lot safer than walking past 9th Street or anywhere else.
I don't feel like I'm in any danger, so it's pretty safe.
Every day but New Year's Eve. You get those drunk old men here that wish to touch you, and it's not like you're wearing this big pride shirt that says, "Hi, I'm a dyke." And they want to touch you anyway. Get a clue, people!
Well, I don't really go to many other clubs, so, I like this one because I do feel safe here.
Every weekend, that's what we look forward to, is coming to the club so we can dance, have a good time, feel safe, and,
I feel safe because I know that the people here are like me, can relate to me, and that I got enough fags to back me up if some straight guy tries to pick on me.
Because it's too darn hot.
There are stage shows every Saturday evening. The shows feature female impersonators and other entertainers, mostly lip-syncing to popular songs and acting out the lyrics. Many of these performers are customers of the club and very serious about this form of expression, sometimes rehearsing for weeks prior to the performance. The club allows them special times for rehearsals.
What would you ask if you had just...
Some of the performances are controversial in nature. A majority, however, are female impersonators whose performances generally leave the audience howling with laughter and yelling for more.
The shows at the City NightClub are very important. The people who come to the club relate to them very strongly. Most of the time, the shows are just female impersonators, quite often from some of the other clubs. But quite often, the young people themselves stage the shows. And these are the shows that are really the most controversial, because a lot of these young gay people are feeling a lot of anger and hurt and bitterness towards society, and they express this rage out on the stage. It is far better that they do this on the stage than they take it out in the streets or out on themselves personally. A lot of the members of the audience connect with what is going on in the stage, and consequently, some of the emotional pressures and problems that they have to deal with are dealt with here at the club, and so when they go back out into society, they're better able to deal with them, or at least they've released some of the pressure that they have been just sort of storing up inside of them all this time.
You get the opportunity to come and see theater on stage, and as queer young people, a lot of people are interested in that. because stereotypical as it may seem, gay people are very creative and they like to express themselves through theater and music and dance. And I think it gives them an opportunity, especially for those who don't have the nerve to get up on stage and do it themselves, to actually see somebody else doing it.
If you usually go out and see a show, it's like Broadway or, you know, chicks and guys dancing together. When you come here, you see them on outrageous things that you probably like fantasize about, and it's happening on stage. You can sit there and watch people doing this. And so it's just great.
A lot of people want to see entertainment that they've never seen before. They want to see something that maybe they fantasize about themselves and wish someday that they could do, and they're just not, you know, don't know how to go about it, don't know what it's about. Is it a freak thing, or are people going to laugh at me? And that's something good for them. Also, it's a way for artists to, I mean, the people who are up there to express something through the music to a large crowd. They're able to actually give out a feeling about something and have a large majority of people listen, so, or watch it.
Several cable access television shows are produced at a video production studio set up inside the club. One of them, Night Scene, is a queer American bandstand program featuring young people dancing and enjoying the music, interviews with customers about current events, and informative interviews with people and organizations prominent in the gay and lesbian community. Having produced nearly 300 shows, Night Scene is the longest-running TV show for and about gay and lesbian people in the history of television. Outrageous is the newest program produced at the club. It features live performances from the Saturday night shows. From running cameras and lights to helping out in the control room, young people who frequent the City NightClub are involved in every production done at the facility. Between the stage shows and video productions, from 40 to 50 young people are creatively involved every month. By its very nature, the City NightClub is controversial. Several tabloid-style newspaper articles have painted a one-sided picture of the club. Christian fundamentalists regularly protest outside, and some homophobic police officers have tried to shut it down on more than one occasion. Attempts by certain police officers became so blatant that a precedent-setting agreement was drawn up between the City NightClub and the Portland Police Department. The agreement makes it difficult for individual officers to carry out any personal issues they may have against the club, while legitimate law enforcement concerns can be quickly addressed by police and management of the club together. That agreement showcases how community policing can operate at its best. The City NightClub is one of the few places in Portland where gay people under 21 can meet and socialize with those over 21. Although some people may be uncomfortable with this, the fact remains that most gays under 21 want very much to interact with the entire gay community, including those over 21. The City NightClub provides a safe environment in which to do that. Linnea Dew is a celebrated author who did a nationwide study of gay and lesbian youth in her best-selling book, Joining the Tribe. Her book contains an entire chapter on the City NightClub.
There is no other all-ages gay and lesbian club across the country.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What kind of advice did you sort of come out of this? What did you learn from this?
The main thing that I learned is what kids really need to be able to do is socialize with each other. And however that can be arranged and however adults can help that happen, whether it's putting on a gay prom, starting a place like the City, organizing focus groups for kids, you know, like a photography club, or putting on a play, or doing anything will help people. There's a very small, there's a short window of despair before kids, you know, where kids are feeling very isolated and before they can essentially find a chosen family who validates who they are. Yeah. And, you know, everybody knows about the suicide statistics and everything, that a third of gay and lesbian kids seriously consider suicide. That period is very short. It's generally within a year of finding out about themselves, and it's when they're still stuck in that homophobic limbo.
I remember when I was a teenager and what it was like to be gay and have nowhere to go. You feel alone, you feel all by yourself, you're the only person. The club provides a safe environment in which they can socialize, meet other gays and lesbians, and find out that they're not alone, that they're not the only ones like that. Over the years, I have met thousands of young people, and some of them I have got to know very well, and we've had some long conversation. A few of them have opened up to me and told me that they were on the verge of committing suicide because they felt so all alone or so bad for being gay. Now, if I've heard from that from 5 or 6 kids over the years, how many young people have not committed suicide or not attempted to commit suicide because they had a club like the City NightClub to come to? The club is extremely important for their well-being, for their ability to survive in a very hostile environment outside these club walls.
The important part is that the kids are actually seeing that they can be themselves. They don't have to hide anything when they're here, and that's the most important thing with kids nowadays. They don't have to hide anything.
It was really comfortable because it was like the only place that I could come that I didn't have to worry about being gay bashed or, you know, people talking about me. It was like really accepting, and it was a really positive atmosphere. And it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and that's why I keep coming.
I was probably the only gay person out of 20 straight people, so it kind of gave me more gay people to be around and do stuff with, and I didn't have to feel like hiding the fact I was gay in front of like all the straight people's friends whenever I went to parties and stuff. So.
How about you?
I would have to say I agree. I would say a lot of the same things just because in an atmosphere where you can just kind of relax, and I come from a small town, you know, over an hour away that nobody's gay there. You don't even talk about it, so it was good just to be me.
It's a place where you can come where people just are like you, and I mean there's so many different kind of people here. I mean there's what you'd call normal people and there's what you'd call freaks. I mean it's just where people can be themselves and who they want to be.
It's like a family. You have like, I mean, you don't like have a whole huge family in the city, but you have like a group of friends that you make, close ties with when you're at the city. You know, you're 2 people, you're gay or lesbian or maybe even straight, and you're interacting with each other in an open, free setting. And that's something that really affects me is I have a lot of close friends who I care deeply about. And I mean, our friendships carried through the club into our lives, and my best friend is Rosebud, so.
If it weren't for the club, I probably wouldn't have any friends.
What would you do if there was no City NightClub? What would you be doing?
Probably sitting on my ass at home, not doing anything, or probably on the streets.
Probably getting myself into trouble.
I'd probably be doing drugs.
I'd say I'd probably be in a lot more trouble than I am. I mean, I've never been a troubled kid, but, you know, when people get bored and they're not allowed to express themselves, they begin to turn to alternative activities, which usually lead to anything from drugs to crime, and, you know, and I've stayed away from the drugs, I've stayed away from the crime, so I think that I'd have to say the city's definitely been one to keep people clean.
Alcohol, other drugs, and weapons of any kind are not permitted at the City NightClub. Monitors do a pat-down search of everyone who enters the club and check any purses or knapsacks for these items. Hall and restroom monitors are present at all times to see to it that all club rules are followed and that customers don't get too unruly. Lanny Swerdlow talks about the potential of the City NightClub as a resource for community service organizations.
Every week, over 1,000 young people come to the City NightClub. Most of them are gay or lesbian or bisexual. This is a perfect focal point for social service organizations and gay and lesbian organizations to come on down and meet and work with the gay and lesbian youth of our community. They feel safe here, they feel comfortable here, this is where they want to come. I invite all of you who would like to come down here and meet these kids and to work with them to let me know. You can come down here and you can meet them and you can start meeting the needs of these gay and lesbian youth. This is where you can do it. This is the place to do it at.